Y'all know before reaction on my for life is out there. Hope you guys having a blessed day. Make sure you subscribe to that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Now you got Tamara yet again after she has graduated from her marriage, and you would think that she would be successful out there in the streets, but she is not. She continues to monetize off her marriage that ended in 2022, and you would think that is going on 2025 that she wouldn't be talking about this. I thought it's called My Next Act, not My Past Act. And she just can't help but talk about Corey. She has mentioned in previous episodes that she would rather go back because you know why a lot of women like her, they think they're missing out on something because they're fed that feminist garbage. But let's get right into advice. That is terrible advice. Just because your situation went to shit doesn't mean you spread that type of nonsense to somebody else's situation because everybody's situation and circumstances are different. And I think a lot of women, when they reach a point in their life that they know they made a lot of mistakes by trying to play that masculine role because it was fed that feminist garbage. You know, the world has fed women this boss B mentality that ultimately are leading them to a life of solitude with no man, no husband, no nothing, only being used for recreational purposes, and they're dying alone with a cat because they believe that they can somehow be the leader in a relationship, the boss in a relationship, when we already know that the head of the woman is the man, the head of the man is Christ, the head of Christ is the Most High. But women like this do not care about that hierarchy. They don't care about spirituality. They just want to go off whatever they are fed from society and they convert over to whatever society is doing at that point in time. Look would nurture the ego of the man as if they make it seem as if being a wife, being a helpmate is something that is disgraceful. Being a woman is disgraceful to a lot of these women because they're going to take on that masculine role. They want to be the one that can go out and leave the house whenever. They want to be the breadwinner. But then, right when you start to either match or get above a woman like that, and I would tell any man not to get in a relationship with a woman like this. But if you just happen to get with a woman like that and you're matching them in finances, or you just start to even get ahead, they're going to start to feel like you're competing with them. And then y'all going to clash, and it's going to ultimately end anyway because the woman that's supposed to take that role of a supporter, that role of a nurturer, doesn't want to take that role. She wants to be the masculine figure. And people have to understand that's why so many women are dying alone with a cat. And the man that's they supposed to be with is no longer willing to take them on because they see these traits and it's very unattractive. Remember, men they don't look for women with money. Men even find a lady that's at a diner that's making about $10 an hour and he can be rich and still wife that woman because of her characteristics and her virtue. You know what it is? This is the problem with these modern day women, right? Accountability is nowhere to be found. She said, I can't help but think that I'm making the same mistake. Of course, you're making the same mistake. You didn't learn from the past. You never graduated. That was false. There's no such thing as a divorce diploma. This is something that she just made up to endorse that stupid belief that she has, that ideology. Going back to the streets because you felt like you missed out on something because life got boring to you, or you felt like at the time he wasn't making what you were making. Marriage is about through sickness and health, through death do you part. It doesn't matter through rich or poor. You're not supposed to be saying, "Oh, he wasn't there." You supposed to support that man so he can get to the level that he needs to be. But you didn't want to be that support. You wanted somebody to push you to the higher point so he can just stay stagnant in life. So therefore, then you are flipping on him in the end and be like, "Oh, you ain't on my level," when he didn't sacrifice so many things. Corey Hardrick seems like he's a big believer in God. Remember, two cannot walk together unless they be agreed. And she is not about God. That's why she surrounds herself with mediums and palm readers, necromancers, people that use divination, all these things. And you can see it in her. It's that feminist mentality, unable to accept that she's a woman that needs to be a nurturer. Because when you step outside of that natural realm, a lot of women think that they're going to be happy. They're never going to be happy when you step outside of that nurture, when you step outside of that support. When you're just a leader and you want to be the one paying taxes, you want to be the one that's the breadwinner making all the major decisions, you're going to get angry and upset because you think it's because somebody else can't do it. No, it's because you accepted that role and you wanted that role. And now you're just looking for somebody and anybody. He was unhappy. Why didn't he leave? You see how they try to spin a narrative? If he was unhappy in that situation, he would have left. He would have cheated. He would have stepped out, but he did not. He held down his family. Yes, a man may be dissatisfied with his results because he wants to be the head and leader of his family because he's striving for that. That's actually a positive thing. She should have saw that as, wow, this dude has determination. He has all that mitigative gall needed to push forth and be the one that's going to lead and guide. But you know what? You didn't see it like that, Tia. You saw him trying to strive to be greater as an insult to you. Like, why are you trying to be great? Why are you trying to be better? Why are you trying to push forth? You trying to dethrone me? That's the mentality. You want to see if it was a competition, right? You would have noticed that usually individuals that's in competition with a woman, these usually are beta males. They would step out of a relationship. They will tend to be a little bit more abusive. They will, kind of act out and be overly emotional. But Corey doesn't seem that way. And he never did. And a lot of people threw that at him and made assumptions, preconceived nonsense, thinking that he cheated on her. And he never did. But a lot of people use no side when there's a divorce. Because when you think about anybody that do things like that during the separation, why do you have to end a friendship with anyone? It's not like somebody's at war. It's not like there's some crazy situation that's outworldly. No, that's not the case. I don't know why people would even think that you have to choose sides. It's just really fishy and weird when I hear somebody, saying something like that. And just to pull this up, that's the man that what's her name? Jackie Harry was married to. And that's an openly bisexual man. Openly bisexual. And this is the same woman that's trying to give Tia Mowry advice, right? And they adopted a child together, which I find that completely strange because that means that man obviously probably didn't even want to have biological children. Because I mean, I know there are people out there that do, but they be living a double life. And when a woman like her is so masculine and doesn't want to take a feminine role, they will find a more feminine man, emotional man, a man that has more of those characteristics than a masculine leader. And they get mad. Thomas, he can't have it all. It's the man's ego. She's trying to say that I'm not gonna be home. I'm with the Beach Boys. I'm out there getting validated by other men. I got orbiters around, so I don't really need to be home because I got all the validation I need. And then they ultimately end up alone and be bitter like this woman, which is truly sad. And I'll tell you, you cannot make this up at the end of the day. You can't make it up. I said before, this is a life that she chose. She's not even a mainstream actress. She's not an A-lister. This girl literally was on Sister Sister, which was like decades ago. She played on a game that got canceled and she wasn't even the main actress. I mean, she's not someone who is like so top tier that she can feel like her life is just overwhelmed and too busy. Like, it's like she chose that life to just try to get into shit, just like she created this dumbass show. That's what she's trying to do. And that is foolish to me. And she's unhappy. A lot of people don't realize this is a blessing, I believe, that a lot of women get to see Tia Mowry in the ugly side of divorce when these women divorce their husbands for no apparent reason, just because they want to have fun. This fake self-love that they're looking for when they ultimately are even more empty.
Oh my God, I cannot believe responded to any message.
That's another thing. Very comfortable with very comfortable
right
odd. broad perspective on certain things, and she's very comfortable with familiarity. I'm the one that's taking the leap, should I say.
Okay.
So I feel like that's like the biggest difference that we have with us. I think religion. I am really into learning about other cultures and learning about different religions. I think she's very comfortable and content with where she is, where I'm like, I'm exploring, you know, I'm like, this may work for the family, but this is not necessarily working for me. Yeah.
And there you have it. You have an individual that doesn't believe in the same God that Corey believes in. And the Bible tells you that two cannot walk together unless they be agreed. And you have an individual that's willing to go after necromancy, palm reading, mediums, things of that nature, which is ultimately going to lead you to a place of just self-exaltation. Like you want to put yourself above everything because you can control your own energies, your own matter, your own universe, because that's what you believe in. You are the architect of whatever life that you want to have. You control life and death. And Corey doesn't believe in that. And I'm surprised that they stayed together this long, knowing that they have, so many different aspects about each other that do not coincide. But let me know what you guys think about in the comments. And at a death.